Creating a presentation. In this lesson, we'll walk through how to create a seller presentation. This will be the most common presentation type you will be creating, and in future lessons, we'll take a closer look at the other presentation types. Feel free to follow along with me. You can pause this video between each step so you can create your own presentations at the same time. First, be sure to gather the information about your subject property so you can add those details to your presentation. Once you have all of the property details, select Create New. Then choose Seller Presentation Type, Continue, and then select your template option. For this example, we'll select the brokerage default. Then choose Continue. Next, give your presentation a name. This will generally be who the presentation is for. And lastly, choose your listing source. If you belong to one MLS board, you'll just use that one option. If you belong to multiple MLSs, you'll want to select the MLS for the area where this listing is located. If your MLSs overlap, choose the listing source that will have the most data you will need to use. Now we'll choose Create, and this will take us to our subject property page. Now that we're on the subject property page, we'll need to add all of our property's details. If you were creating a presentation for an open house invitation, you could add the listing number in this top field and copy over all of the details from the MLS. This will save you time as you've already added all the details to the MLS and don't want to have to retype all that information. Most often, however, you'll need to enter the details manually. The more details you include, the more meaningful this presentation will be to your customer. However, you will need to include some minimum information: the location of the property, and under Property Info, include the property type, beds, baths, and square footage. Our search will take this information and find similar properties that you can include as comparables. For this example, I'll copy in an MLS number and let the MLS fill in the data for me. Next, we'll select Continue and bring us to our search screen. The initial search on the search screen will take the details from the subject property screen to filter similar properties. This search is also map-based, looking for properties that are physically located inside the map's borders. You can change the map by zooming in or out, or using one of the boundary tools like Radius, drawing your own custom boundary, or using the school district or attendance zone boundaries. Once you've determined the physical area you are searching, you can also alter the filter options as well, either expanding or narrowing your search options with specific pricing, beds and baths, or additional filters like property type and square footage. Filters also allow you to adjust the listing status you are looking for and even the time frame of the status change. In this example, I'll expand my square footage and look for sold properties in the last 12 months. This provides me just a few more examples. Let's also expand our baths to include some properties with fewer baths. This gives us quite a bit more. If you already know the comparables you would like to include, you can use the MLS listing number to find your properties on this search screen. Simply select the MLS number radio button at the top and paste your numbers into the search box below. Select the search icon, and that listing or listings will be the only ones to display in your list. Using this method allows you to search for hyperlocal options that may not be available in the present search filters, but are definitely available on your MLS. Once you decide which comparables to include, add them by choosing Include All, or hover over the listing image and select the plus icon. Once you've added all of your listings, select Continue at the bottom right of the page. The Listings page is where you can organize the comparables you've selected. You can add adjustments if needed, and even include your own remarks about each listing. As seen in the previous video, there are some pages of your presentation that will showcase the comparables in whatever order you wish, and other pages that will group the comparables by status. For those pages, you can choose which status order you wish to use. By default, we'll display active, pending, sold, and other. Selecting the edit icon just under display order lets you drag and drop the statuses into your preferred order. Let's move sold up front in this example. Next to this section is the option for sorting your comps when not grouped by status. You can even have a secondary sort. Choose your first option of distance from subject property, days on market, and your second sort option can be price high to low, days on market, sold date, listed date, lot size. We'll select price high to low. If you have a listing that you would like to include as a comp, but it is not on the MLS, maybe it's an off-market or for sale by owner, you can still include those by choosing the Add Custom Listing button. This will bring you to a page that is identical to the subject property page. Add as much information as you can, then select Continue at the bottom. Custom comparables will be noted by this red house icon. Custom comps will also have no direct tie to the MLS like the listings you added from the search page, so you will need to manually update any changes that happen to this listing. Once you're completed making your adjustments on the listings page, we'll go to Estimate. The Estimate screen is where you will add your estimate pricing. If you added your subject property via the Copy from MLS feature, the listing price for this property will already be populated here. If not, it will be blank. You can enter a single number or select Create Range to offer a low-high range, or use the percent field to generate a specific percent above and below the estimated market value number you selected. The pricing stats section is generated from the Present system. It is looking at sold comparables selected for this presentation. The first number is looking at the average price of those sold comps. The second number is calculating the average price per square footage of the sold comps and then applying that number to the square footage of your subject property. The listing summary section provides a view of the comps chosen in their numbers. Low, average, and high pricing, beds and baths, square footage, price, and price per square footage. Your subject property is noted with the star, so you can see how it measures up with your selected comps. The estimate screen also has an additional tab for estimated net proceeds. Both the pricing stats and listing summary information will continue to display. The net proceeds form lets you include all the costs that go into selling a property. This is important information for your sellers to see what their bottom line will be, and an important opportunity for first-time sellers to understand the costs involved in selling a property. Add in your estimated seller price, mortgage payoff information, brokerage fees, settlement costs, taxes, and other costs associated with this property. If there is a field you need that is not included, you have a custom cost section where you can add in as many additional fields as necessary. To create additional scenarios, scroll back to the top and select Copy. Update the information as needed to run your additional scenario. You can create a total of 3 net proceeds scenarios per presentation. Examples of this would be a sell as is scenario alongside a renovation scenario. Agents have also used this net proceeds form to walk their customers through an offer that has been received. Pages. This section is where your presentation will come to life. The pages are what your customer will see to tell the story of all the information we have just entered on the previous screens. When you created the presentation, you were asked to select a template. That template dictates the pages and settings that will show to your customer. We'll take a deeper dive into the screen in future videos, but know that you can move these pages around, add more pages from your present library, create custom pages that you can use for this and future presentations, and create your own custom templates. Now that we've created our presentation, we can preview it in either web format or PDF print. The web format will be interactive and responsive, letting your client view it on any mobile device. The web format also has the added feature of staying up to date with any changes that happen to listings from the MLS. The PDF format will show all the same information and allow you to leave a printed version of your presentation with your client. But anytime information updates from the MLS, you will need to resend a PDF to your customer for them to see the information update. You can email this presentation in web format, print, or both. Select Send and enter the email address. Bonus here is that if you are also using Moxie Engage, your contact list and groups are available to use for sending here as well. Start typing a name or group name and you'll be able to select from a drop-down menu. If sending to a group, each member of the group will receive an individual copy of this email and not see other member addresses in their inbox. You're done. You've created a seller presentation and sent it to our client for them to review.